Hi everyone, in this video we will be reviewing the latest album from Logic, Supermarket, which is supposed to be a soundtrack album to his recent book that he released titled Supermarket. Again, this is the latest album from Maryland's own Sir Robert Bryson Hall II, more commonly referred to as Logic. Mr. Hall broke out to the rap scene in 2010 with his debut mixtape, but he received critical acclaim when he released his fourth project in 2013 titled Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever. But that's not where the story ends with Hall. If you remember back in 2017, the track 1-800, you know the track, this song made Logic a more recognizable figure in rap music. Now, Logic the rapper is different from Logic the singer. We've always heard Logic the rapper on almost every album, but this is a different story. This is the album where we see Logic the singer. There are a few points where he does rap, but this is an album of mainly singing. Now, this album is being crucified by critics and internet critics alike, and I always try to go into an album open-minded, but I've just been inundated with negative reviews about this album, so I only had a negative expectation for this album. However, I came out enjoying it more than I expected. Don't take that as me loving the album or even liking it, because there are numerous flaws with this album. For example, the guitar progressions on almost every track are so simple they're basically rudimentary. The songwriting is bland and cliche, almost as this album was made for the sole intention to be put onto the radio. The production on this album is also bland and repetitive. That's bad enough. But then you realize this album took 3 years to record. The songwriting is bad on most parts of this album. Logic tries to come off as endearing, but instead it comes off as weird and creepy. The track Lemon Drop is the epitome of all bad. Not only does it have probably some of the worst production I've heard in a long time, but it has some of the worst songwriting and vocal delivery as well. I mean, it is a bad track. And luckily it's the shortest track on this album, but still, that doesn't take away from how bad this thing is. How many licks to lick your lemon drop? Don't ask me that question, please. That's very weird. Also, the opening track to this album, Bohemian Rhapsody, come on. Also, the song Baby is a blatant ripoff of Biz Marquis's Just a Friend. Like, it is undeniably the biggest ripoff I've heard in the longest time. The production on this album is simplistic at best. The guitars are so generic and, like I said, they sound rudimentary. It's kind of like Logic made like a note change to a guitar and that's about it. Every single track has basically the same guitar sound and it's just really one-dimensional. I think a good exception to this rule is the track I'm Probably Gonna Rock Your World, which sounds like it was made by Toro y Moi, but just has Logic's vocals on it. Guitars are abandoned basically after this track, but then return in the last track of the album. But at this point, there's no saving this crapshoot. So everything up to I'm Probably Gonna Rock Your World is bearable, while unenjoyable, it's bearable. After I'm Probably Gonna Rock Your World, it becomes insufferable. Vacation for Myself is just as bad as Lemon Drop. The vocals are nasty, the production is weirdly seductive, but I digress. With the numerous flaws out of the way, let's talk about the positives, the very few positives on this album. For one, I didn't necessarily hate the vocals on most of the tracks. Granted, he does play it very, very safe, but he doesn't use autotune as like a saving grace. He kind of uses it for a purpose. He is subtle with his vocals, and again, they're not all that bad. Sometimes the simple guitars do make a song slightly more enjoyable. He isn't being ambitious, he isn't taking any risk on any of these tracks, which could not pan out that well, but in the end, he stays simple. But other than that, this album still isn't that good. It's not as bad as what people have said it to be, but it just isn't good either. All in all, this album, to me, is nothing more than a D+. And with that said,
thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this album down below in the comments. What albums do you want me to review? And what can I do to make my videos any better? I would love to hear your suggestions. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.